Greetings and welcome back to another bite-sized edition of Kapow Comic Book Show exclusive to sftv.com.au. That is Al.
And that is Sonya. Now today we are looking at the comic tie-in to the upcoming game The Last of Us, and also at an image title that's now going into its 5th printing, Nowhere Men.
There's no doubt there's a lot of people looking forward to Naughty Dog's upcoming game The Last of Us, given how popular their series Uncharted was.
Of course.
But you have to ask of any tie-in, is it necessary?
Well, let's put the tie-in aspect to the side just for a moment.
Okay.
The 4-issue miniseries American Dreams focuses on an angry teenager named Ellie and on the downfall of society in the wake of something referred to only as the infection.
And it's a common premise to anyone who's ever seen a zombie movie.
Sure.
The remains of mankind have walled themselves up against the growing menace and are living under a state of martial law. In response to the oppressive regime, an internal rebellion has begun, taking the form of a militia group who call themselves the Fireflies.
There's certainly enough here to make for an interesting story, and it's good that it's being co-written by Neil Druckmann, who also wrote the game, so that's good. You know that there's going to be a lot of backstory filled in on Ellie, and you know that it's going to give a lot of context to the game itself.
Yeah, it's also being written by Faith Erin Hicks, who does double duty on artwork. There's a grim yet cartoonish quality to her art that works really well overall, and I'm interested to see what the infected are going to look like when they actually start popping up. Although I did enjoy this comic, there's nothing really in there that really knocked my socks off, so this one's going to be a borrow from me.
Yeah, look, it hasn't really shown me anything yet that justifies its statement on the front cover that it's an essential story, but it's decently told for all that. I'm going to give it a borrow as well. Now we'll move on to a comic that's adding to the sci-fi renaissance we're seeing at the moment.
Indeed.
Nowhere Men.
Science is the new rock and roll. That's the tagline for Nowhere Men, and it's a very apt statement as the story begins by introducing a group who are essentially the Beatles of experimental science. 4 young men whose new company, World Corp, will go on to change the entire world.
Following on with the musical analogy though, the group inevitably begins to fall apart. There's a dramatic shift in tone after the first couple of pages, where we jump forward in time to see World Corp's newest development, an insanely violent mutant gorilla.
It's unclear how the company has moved on from sight-saving surgery for the blind to mutant killing machines. But what is clear is that the founding members are all moving in very different directions. We jump forward again and find ourselves with a research group for World Corp, who have been stricken with a bizarre and incurable disease and have been quarantined indefinitely.
See, Nowhere Man is very much a high-concept comic, and it's by no means an easy read, but it is a fascinating one. I think writer Eric Stevenson has hit the perfect balance of action and plot development, mixing in sections from newspaper articles that grant perspective on the founders of World Corp and on the world they've created.
Nate Bellegarde's artwork is top shelf, moving seamlessly between time periods in a way that beautifully underplays the beat changes of this wonderfully complex story. I read through this title at least 3 times before I could bear to put it down. It's so good, and it's most definitely a buy.
Absolutely, it's a hugely ambitious project and one I was hooked on every page, so it's definitely a buy from me as well. But unfortunately, that's all we have time for today.
Yes, indeed. Don't forget to jump on over to youtube.com/Kapow Comic Book Show, where this week we take a look at Time Warp and the new Mark Millar title, Jupiter's Legacy.
And also Pietrolino from Humanoids Publishing. So until next week, guys.
Bye.